Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, we're going to react to the most underrated US tourist destinations. Everybody, knows about New York City or Los Angeles or Las Vegas, Yosemite National Park, Sequoia National Park, all of the, famous places that everybody wants to go, the Grand Canyon. But America's huge, it's vast. There's so many places that people don't really hear about, especially if you're from outside of the US, that when you go there, you would never think to go or visit because you're so enamored by seeing, the Statue of Liberty or, just one of the main sort of things that you would think of when you think of America, like the Hollywood sign. So yeah, this video is not only going to be a good video just to watch, but I think it's going to have a lot of little recommendations for me personally, so that when next I go to the US, I can actually find somewhere, a little bit off the beaten track.
Welcome to Mojo Travels, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 underrated US destinations 2021. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to Mojo Travels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
All right, let's go.
For this list, we're looking at locations across America that don't get quite as much tourism as they should. Number 10. Kosak Coulee Tent Rocks National Monument, New Mexico. New Mexico itself is an underrated vacation destination. Whether you're staying for an extended period or passing through on a road trip, Kosak Coulee needs to be on your radar. Translating to White Cliffs, Kosak Coulee is distinguished by its unique geology, which is derived from volcanic eruptions. Through erosion and weathering, the surrounding area eventually developed light-colored, cone-shaped formations that stand out in more ways than one. The monument provides an alluring backdrop for hiking, bird-watching, and creating Instagrammable memories. Although Kosak Coulee doesn't get as much attention as some other rock formations, at least this means the site is rarely crowded. Number 9.
That did look cool. The way those shapes at the top were so triangular. They kind of looked a bit like something else, if you know what I mean.
Knott's Berry Farm, California. California is amusement park central, but in recent years, Knott's Berry Farm has lived in the shadow of Disneyland and Universal Studios. Knott's Berry Farm actually predates its main competitors, branding itself as America's first theme park. While it doesn't have as many iconic attractions, the park does offer a wide variety of roller coasters, family-friendly dark rides, and water rides. The highlight is arguably Timber Mountain Log Ride, which has been a staple since 1969. While Knott's Berry Farm provides year-round fun, we'd recommend visiting in October when the park is transformed into Knott's Scary Farm. With the 2020s marking its 100th anniversary, amusement park junkies should definitely book a trip, especially if you're also a Snoopy fan. Who isn't? Number 8.
To be fair, that did look fun. And I love a theme park. I've not been to a theme park in years. And Disneyland, the queues for the rides are just horrific. Even if you get Fast Pass, you're still going to be in a queue.
Alaska National Parks, Alaska. When people think of national parks, green grass, tall trees, and babbling brooks come to mind. When they think of Alaska, it's hard for some to picture anything other than blizzards. As such, tourists don't always put Alaska and national parks together. They're missing out, however, on some of America's most naturally beautiful destinations. Denali National Park offers an ideal balance with snowy mountains up high and the taiga forest below. If you're visiting for the wildlife, you can count on spotting a brown bear trying to catch sockeye salmon at Katmai National Park. Since Alaska is famous for its icy landmarks, be sure to check out the glaciers at Kenai Fjords. It's not all ice either, as sand dunes await at Kobuk Valley. Number 7.
I really want to get to Alaska, man. I really want to just experience what it's like to be in Alaska. I've heard and seen so much about it. It's so big, I think it's twice the size of Texas. Yeah, I really want to get to Alaska.
Then, the Oregon coast, Oregon. If life is a highway, then you can live it to the fullest on the Oregon coast. When it comes to travel, driving is the activity that most of us look forward to the least. This isn't at all the case when you're driving across the U.S. Route 101 in Oregon. Visitors are treated to 363 miles of coastline views. It takes about 8 hours to drive though, but the various pit stops will motivate travelers to take their time. On your road trip, pull over to explore Cannon Beach, Lincoln City, Newport, and other scenic vistas. After all, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? On the Oregon coast, though, the journey and the destination are one and the same. Number 6. Governor's Island, New York. New York has so many iconic destinations that a few are bound to go overlooked. Governor's Island might not get as much attention as Staten Island or Long Island, but that's part of its appeal. For those who want to escape the hustle and bustle of the big city, this New York Harbor Island provides a refreshing escape. Of course, you can still get incredible views of several neighboring New York landmarks, including the Statue of Liberty and Manhattan skyline. However, you can also take in the local sites, such as Fort Jay and Castle Williams. The island's 52 landmark buildings are shrouded in American history, and the public park offers a quaint charm you won't find in Central Park. Hop aboard a ferry already.
One thing about New York I want to experience, because I've been to New York City and I loved it, but I want to experience more upstate New York. I want to see, the different parts of New York, because I've heard that it snows a ton in upstate New York, which I can't imagine. When I went to New York, it was quite warm. Even though it was November, it was surprisingly warm.
5. Joshua Tree National Park, California. Yosemite is the most visited national park in California, but it's far from the Golden State's only spot for nature lovers. If Yosemite is like a blockbuster, then Joshua Tree National Park would be an experimental art house picture. It's a strange wildness that doesn't fit the conventional definition of a park. Anyone looking for a different kind of outdoors experience, though, will find it in the Joshua trees that give the park its name. There's something haunting yet beautiful about the park's desert landscape, which is populated by eye-catching rock formations and, of course, the unusual plant life. For campers, backpackers, and anyone who owns an RV or van, you couldn't ask for a more otherworldly spot to escape to. Number 4.
Yeah, that shot of the stars, being able to see the stars like that, is something I really want to do. I don't think in recent memory I've been able to look up and just see a star-filled sky or night sky. Yeah, it's been maybe when I was a kid. It's been a very, very long time for me. It's because I've always lived in cities, so it's just the light pollution. You just don't get to see the stars.
4. Petrified Forest National Park, Arizona. We're not sure why Petrified Forest doesn't get more love. Maybe it's because no Arizona landmark can really compete with the gravitas of the Grand Canyon. Maybe it's because petrified isn't the most attractive word. This national park proves, however, that beauty can flourish in the most unlikely places. While the park is painted with multicolored mountains, it's the petrified wood that distinguishes the area above all else. The region is rich with these unbelievable fossils, which encompass all the colors for a radiant sunset. Don't take any home with you though, because you'd be robbing the park of its defining feature. Just appreciate the park's geology as you hike, cycle, or horseback ride through this bleak yet splendorous wildness.
Reminds me of if any of you guys have seen Better Call Saul, that kind of terrain. It looked like a lot of scenes were probably filmed in this national park.
3. Bear Butte, South Dakota. Just as Arizona is synonymous with the Grand Canyon, South Dakota will always be best known for Mount Rushmore. Heck, it's called the Mount Rushmore State. South Dakota has another geological landmark, though, that's every bit as majestic, if not more so. In any case, Bear Butte is easily South Dakota's most striking natural wonder. Explorers are immediately drawn to Bear Mountain, which formed over millions of years in the Black Hills. Buffalo can be found wandering below while religious offerings are left at the summit. A special place for various indigenous people, visitors are asked not to interfere with religious offerings. Bear Butte has a way of bringing out any traveler's spiritual side, giving a chance to commune with nature. Number 2, White Sands National Park, New Mexico. For underrated desert locals, you can't go wrong with Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado or Death Valley on the California-Nevada border. However, there isn't another U.S. park quite like White Sands. Before it was populated by white sand dunes, the land was once dominated by grass, bodies of water, and creatures from the Ice Age. The area changed with the climate, amounting to a vast wilderness of white sand made from gypsum crystals. The park is at its most captivating when the sun begins to set, dipping the sand in pink and blue hues. Aesthetically, White Sands is reminiscent of the desert, the beach, and a winter wonderland. A destination this distinctive deserves more of a following.
Reminds me of watching Star Wars or like Dune or something, kind of looked otherworldly. I'd love to go visit that.
Number 1, Devil's Tower, Wyoming. Devil's Tower is such a powerful, imposing, and unique landmark that we can't imagine why it hasn't quite achieved iconic status, especially given the monument's presence in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Granted, roughly 400,000 people drop by yearly, but that's only a fraction of the annual visitors that the Grand Canyon or Rocky Mountain attract. Then again, we suppose Devil's Tower is an intimidating sight, and not merely due to its name. Only 1% of its annual visitors are willing to accept the climbing challenge. With an elevation of 5,112 feet, not everyone has what it takes to conquer this mighty butte. However, that doesn't mean visitors can't still enjoy the hiking trails and the magnificent backdrop for photos. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from
All entries into this video were fantastic, but if I had to pick the two that I'd want to visit the most, probably Denali National Park, and Alaska in general, White Sands National Park, and maybe the theme park. What was it called? Let me find the name. What was that theme park called? Oh my God. You know the one in California, the one that not a lot of people visit because of Disneyland and Universal, but definitely those three. That sand dune, I would feel like I was in a different planet, honestly. Just being in, just standing there in those hills of white sand and just being able to look up and see the stars, man. Honestly, I really would love to do that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.